Okay, today we're going to talk about how to set up the keyboard rig in the sanctuary. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, first of all, we have this all these cords. So we need to power our keyboard through electricity. So we're going to have a power cord here. And we're going to also need a power strip to plug in because we have more than one area that we need to plug in. So we'll have to attach these. And then we'll also have the power adapter that goes into the keyboard itself and then into the power strip. And then we'll have this foot pedal that will go into the keyboard. So let's set all that up here in just a minute. But before we do that, we have another thing going on here. So we have this red cord that you see here is called a MIDI cord, and it has these prongs on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins, and that will go into the back of the keyboard where it says MIDI out. It's going out of the keyboard. That's the source of where we're trying to play, and then it's going out of there, and then that's going to go in to this little fellow right here. And this is the Scarlett Focusrite 2i4. This is an audio interface, and in the back of it, it's going to plug in to the MIDI in, because it's getting a signal and it's going into this, and this is processing. And then we also have a USB. You'll notice this gray cord here. This is a USB connection, and that's going from the computer into here. So it's also getting two areas of input of signal, and it's going into this, and it's processing that information. And then all of that is going to get sent out through these. Let me see if I can pull it out here. Through these black cords. Actually, we're just going to do the one. We're going to do channel 1. So that's going to be the top cord, and this is a TRS that stands for tip, ring, and sleeve. And I'm going to unplug one of these just for a second and show you how that works. All right, so you'll notice here we have a tip, this little tip here. Then we have this part, this second thing, this black ring around here. Then we have this third one, that's sleeve, so TRS, tip, ring, sleeve, and that gets a stereo signal. So we're going to be sending a stereo signal out of this red audio interface, and it's going to be coming out, and it's going to be going into this direct box down here, into in, and then it's going to go out of the direct box through an XLR cord, and then that XLR cord is going to come around and it's going to go in to this digital snake over here. We have two rows. The top row is channels inputs 1 through 8. The bottom row is inputs 9 through 16. So we're going to use the bottom row and one of these in the first section of the bottom row here, and we'll plug that in. And that will send a signal. That will send a signal up to the crow's nest, up where the AV team is working up there. Now we'll also need to, when we set this up, there's going to be a certain way that we do this. So we're going to put this little cart over to the side, over to the right side, because our keyboard player is right-handed and he will have to access the computer. So there will be a laptop sitting right here, and he'll be going on the laptop, and he'll be selecting what sounds he needs to go in from the keyboard into the computer and out to the board. So that will be set up here, and then that will also, we will need to have power. So when we plug our electrical cord here and our power adapter, we're going to have to bring it over here. This is the closest outlet. So we have an outlet right over here. we're by the piano. So here's the piano, and we're going to plug in our red cord here. We're going to plug that in. Okay, so we have this red and black cord here. We'll plug that in, and then the other side, we'll take it and we'll plug in this power strip. Okay, and then once we have that, we'll move it over here. Now you're going to notice that we have some cords that are going to be here. We're going to have to use gaff tape, some black gaff tape, to tape this down so no one trips. So that will be very important. Once we have that all set up, then what we're going to do is we're going to set up this guy. Now this folds up nice and neatly, but give me just a second and I'll show you how this works. So I don't know if I can do this with one hand, but you have to pull it out. Okay, see that goes out like that, and you do that on all four. So you just pull it out, 3, 4. So we have, it should look like that when you're done. So once that is set up, I'm going to keep it right here, and then we're going to put the keyboard on top of that. All right, now that we have our keyboard all set up on the stand and our cart over here, and our electrical will be in place and gaff taped, then what we need to do next is we need to take our foot pedal and we need to put it down underneath, and then we'll need to take the end and we'll need to plug it in right here where it says foot switch sustain. So that's where that will go. We'll plug that in. Okay, and we also need to power it up, so we'll need to grab this transformer box here. And, all right, and then we will take this and we will plug it into this power strip down here, and we'll plug in the other end up here on the actual keyboard. All right. Good. All right. Now we have our MIDI cord, this red 5-prong cord, and that's going to go, as I said before, it's going to go MIDI out, because we're going out from the keyboard here into this red interface, audio interface. So we're going to take it, and you'll notice that let me see if I can get a little closer. The slots for the prongs are up at the top. So you'll line them up and put the prongs up at the top and just put that in there like that. And you should be all set there. Now you need to take your audio interface and need to, for sake of illustration, you have to take that TRS, that tip ring sleeve coming out of the back of your audio interface, and you'll plug it in. So you'll, just for right now, put this DI box up here. It won't be up here, but I'll put it up here for right now. And you'll put it in the in. See this? In, out. You'll put it in the in slot right there. That will go in there. All right. And then that XLR cord will be coming out of here, and then it will go into the bottom row, as I mentioned before. It will go into the bottom row of the digital snake. Oh, and I almost forgot one last thing. So you have a USB going out of your audio interface, this red box here, out of the back, and then this is the connection to the computer side, and that will go on the left-hand side of the computer and just go, there's a slot in the side, it'll go in the first slot closest to the operator, and you should be good to go. All right. That's how to set up the keyboard rig in the sanctuary.